The fast-paced momentum of contemporary existence has systematically trained our minds to live in a state of permanent psychological exile. We spend our precious, irreplaceable days rushing through automated routines, completely consumed by an unceasing internal chatter that rehashes old yesterday dramas or frantically plans for upcoming tomorrow hurdles. In their profound, clinically validated masterpiece, Mindfulness, an 8-week plan for finding peace in a frantic world, Oxford University professor Mark Williams and award-winning journalist Danny Penman present a radical psychological thesis. The chronic stress, emotional exhaustion, and ambient anxiety that define modern life are not inevitable byproducts of a busy schedule, but are actively manufactured by a specific, evolutionary cognitive trap known as the doing mode of the mind. By combining ancient contemplative wisdom with the rigorous frameworks of mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, the authors provide a precise behavioral blueprint to help us deactivate our self-defeating mental loops, reset our overstimulated nervous systems, and reclaim our sovereign capacity for absolute presence. To understand why so many highly successful, intelligent professionals find themselves trapped in a state of low-grade, persistent unhappiness, we must isolate the core cognitive machinery that Williams and Penman call the driven doing mode. The doing mode is an evolutionary triumph of human consciousness, a goal-oriented problem-solving framework designed to analyze where you currently are, compare it to a desired future destination, and calculate the exact actions needed to bridge the gap. This analytical machinery works flawlessly when applied to practical external challenges like building a business, constructing a house, or writing a complex software script. The catastrophe occurs when we blindly apply this exact same problem-solving loop to our internal emotional lives. When you experience a sudden wave of sadness, fatigue, or creative self-doubt, the doing mode instantly treats that emotion as an operational problem that must be immediately fixed, analyzed, and eliminated. Your brain launches into a frantic, analytical investigation, asking, "Why do I feel this way? What did I do wrong? How can I shake this feeling?" This internal interrogation is a profound psychological error. Because the doing mode relies on comparing your current unhappy state with a theoretical happy baseline, it actively highlights the discrepancy, forcing your mind to focus deeper on your own misery and locking you into a self-perpetuating spiral of negative thinking that clinical psychologists term rumination. This destructive loop achieves its ultimate leverage through a neurobiological phenomenon known as cognitive aversion. When a negative thought or unpleasant bodily sensation surfaces, our automatic instinct is to fight it, suppress it, or push it away, treating the internal discomfort as an existential threat to our well-being. Williams and Penman reveal that this act of mental resistance is the exact catalyst that transforms temporary, normal human sadness into a prolonged, clinical episode of depression or chronic anxiety. The brain's threat defense system cannot distinguish between a physical predator on the loose and an unpleasant thought in your head. It reacts to both by flooding your biology with stress hormones, accelerating your heart rate, and narrowing your cognitive focus to a hyper-reactive state of survival. To break this vicious cycle, the authors introduce the being mode of the mind, an entirely different dimension of consciousness that is not focused on fixing, changing, or achieving anything. In the being mode, the mind shifts from an orientation of critical analysis to an orientation of pure, compassionate witnessing. You train yourself to receive the present moment precisely as it is, allowing thoughts and feelings to surface, drift, and dissolve within your awareness without judging them, label-checking them, or attempting to force them out of existence. To operationalize this paradigm shift and integrate it permanently into a chaotic professional workflow. Williams and Penman outline a structured, 8-week cognitive training program that begins with the absolute simplification of focus. The foundational anchor of the entire mindfulness curriculum is the breath. The breath is a unique, high-leverage biological asset because it lives permanently in the immediate present moment. You cannot breathe in the past, and you cannot breathe in the future. When you sit in absolute stillness and consciously direct the beam of your attention to the raw sensory mechanics of your inhalation and exhalation, the rise of the chest, the expansion of the abdomen, the cool sensation of air moving through the nostrils, you are executing a profound neurological interception. Your mind will inevitably wander within seconds, racing off to contemplate a future task or analyze a past conversation. The magic of the training occurs not in keeping your mind perfectly still, which is a biological impossibility, but in the exact moment you recognize that your mind has drifted. Each time you catch your thoughts wandering and gently, non-judgmentally escort your attention back to the breath, you are flexing your prefrontal cognitive muscles, strengthening your capacity for concentration, and weakening the automatic neural pathways that drive compulsive top-down rumination. This internal discipline is beautifully deepened by a specific, high-utility tool called the 3-minute breathing space. This exercise is explicitly designed to act as an emergency circuit breaker, a portable cognitive oasis that you can deploy anywhere, at any time, amidst the absolute chaos of a high-pressure workday. The 3-minute space is executed in an hourglass structure, moving systematically from wide awareness to narrow focus, and then back to wide awareness. During the first minute, you open your awareness wide, checking in with your internal weather system and asking, what is my experience right now in my thoughts, my feelings, and my bodily sensations? You acknowledge these states openly, without trying to alter them. During the second minute, you narrow your focus sharply, channeling the entirety of your attention into the physical movements of the breath, grounding your scattered energy in the concrete rhythm of your biology. During the final minute, you expand your awareness back outward from the breath to encompass the body as a whole, noticing your posture, your facial expression, and the immediate space around you. By taking this brief, deliberate pause, you step out of the frantic current of automatic reactivity, clear away accumulating layers of cognitive residue, and return to your creative labor with a restored sense of choice, absolute clarity, and structural response flexibility. This step-by-step restoration of presence enables the individual to dismantle another massive psychological barrier to high performance: the illusion of the exhaustion trap. When professionals face crushing workloads and escalating stress, their automatic behavioral script is to sacrifice the very activities that nourish their spirits, such as exercise, creative hobbies, quality sleep, and deep social connection, to clear more hours for their labor. They reduce their lives to an unbroken, monochromatic sequence of heavy obligations, demanding tasks, and professional pressures. This is an incredibly short-sighted strategy that destroys human capital. Without regular intervals of high-value emotional renewal, your energy reserves rapidly deplete, your cognitive flexibility collapses, and you plunge into an icy state of clinical burnout. Williams and Penman encourage us to conduct an honest, systematic audit of our daily schedules, categorizing every single activity into one of two groups: nourishing activities that replenish our life force, or draining activities that deplete our energy reserves. True sustainable genius requires you to consciously build automated rituals of nourishment directly into your calendar, protecting your recovery blocks with the exact same fierce dedication you use to protect your high-value client pitches or production deadlines. Ultimately, Mindfulness is an urgent, deeply empowering evolutionary manifesto that returns the sovereignty of human life back to the immediate choices of the individual. It completely strips away the toxic cultural myth that chronic stress and mental fragmentation are the necessary prices of admission for status, wealth, or creative legacy in the modern era. True strategic brilliance and profound peace of mind belong to the person who knows how to step outside the driven-doing mode of existence, choosing instead to inhabit the unshakable depth of the being mode. The journey to an extraordinary life of clarity and resilience does not require a genetic miracle, a retreat to a mountaintop, or an external validation from the crowd. It simply requires you to change your depth of focus, to bring the warm light of curiosity and acceptance to your immediate experience, and to honor the delicate biological architecture of your own consciousness. By choosing mindful presence over automatic reactivity, compassionate witnessing over cruel self-criticism, and automated renewal over endless exhaustion, you break the chains of mental stagnation forever. The next time you find yourself standing at a chaotic professional crossroads, overwhelmed by an escalating mountain of demands, pause. Activate your internal circuit breaker. Take a single mindful breath and claim the peace that lives permanently within the present moment.